Hey, what's going on, guys? Joel's back with another reasoning sesh where I challenge the status quo of the wisdom of the world and the church by diving deep into the ancient scriptures, uncovering those meanings glossed over by translations and tradition, really cutting to the core of the metaphysical aspects of these ancient texts and applying them practically to situations in our present day so that we can manifest our best life yet and step into that new earth reality, Earth 2.0. And today I'm going to be talking about no matter how the hardships look all around you, that there's still refuge in knowing that Source has got this.
Come now and let us reason together. Come now, we can talk it over.
But before I begin, I gotta say, if you like these videos, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe for more, and really step into that power that is coming through these videos, because as we move forward, we literally have that firm foundation to literally manifest utopia. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to live in anything less, because we deserve to live out our fullest potential for our destiny. Nothing less. And anything less is just because the kingdom of darkness has stolen what is rightfully yours. But talking about the kingdom of darkness, man, like I said, they're not going to give up without a fight. And they're going to do everything they can to actually manipulate you, to keep you down, and to get control of your own mind. Because once you succeed that power of your will and optimism, you lose the drive forward and you actually become complacent and say, well, maybe this is just the way things have to be. Maybe this is in divine order. Maybe all of this oppression and control is for my own good. What is for your own good is that even though you fall 7 times, you rise up 8 times. But I'm not going to be talking about that verse today. I'm actually going to be reading from the oracles of Ħabaquq, which, especially the 3rd chapter, is literally like my favorite chapter. It's a tefillah hal shiganot, and shiganot is literally like wild, triumphant rock and roll style music. People say that rock and roll isn't from the Bible. They just haven't read their Bible, let me tell you that. Listening to the good old preacher from the pulpit and not doing their own research. But anyway, this 3rd chapter is just, it's awe-inspiring, and it's telling the majesty of Source. And I just loved some of the symbolism here. Elohim came from Teman and the Holy One from Mount Paran. Selah. Pause and think about this. Really take that musical interlude and let this thought marinate. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. That word glory is actually the Hebrew word hod, which literally means the manifest image. And a lot of people tie this in with when the Red Sea parted, and how in the clouds there was actually a face looking down. And I mean, there's been pictures taken where we can see faces in the clouds. We can literally see angels in the refractions of light. And this isn't just a coincidence. And of course, mainstream academia just tries to explain it away, but we are living in a magical universe. You know, and it goes on to say, the mountains saw you and they trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered his voice and lifted up his hands on high. The sun and moon stood still in their habitation, and the light of your arrows they went, and at the shining of your glittering spear. It's a great passage, and I really want to get into it in a future reasoning sesh. But honestly, there are other reasoning sessions that I have to talk about, and I literally have like 2 or 3 weeks still of just downloads that just came to me on the night of the 31st, because I just spent it in this intense communion with Source. So I'll be sharing all of those, and I definitely want to cover this chapter, maybe in a live session. We'll see. But what I really want to point out in this passage, this is what I really want to get to. It's in the last 3 verses, and it says, although the fig tree shall not blossom, neither shall fruit be in the vines. The labor of the olive shall fail, and the fields shall yield no meat. The flock shall be cut off from the fold, and there shall be no herd in the stalls. He's saying, no matter where I look, even if I don't see any potential, even if it's all cut down before me, you know, the crops and the herds, yet I will rejoice in Yahweh. I will joy in the God of my salvation. So Yahweh, of course, as I say, the word doesn't mean Lord. The word literally means isness, or he who is, he who continues in existence. That cycle of what is has to be, and what will be has already been before. It's that eternal plan, the divine blueprint, that living logos, because as you put out, so will you get back. That cycle of infinite justice, and this is the covenant name of God that he gave to the children of Israel. He said, I will contend with those who contend with you, and I will give safety to your children and ease them, because of the promise that he made with Abraham. But then it goes on to say, I will joy in the God of my salvation. And that word salvation literally in Hebrew is Yeshua. A lot of people don't realize this, but every time the Hebrew scriptures say salvation, it's literally saying Yeshua, which was the actual Hebrew name of Jesus. So this salvation is obviously just more than physical salvation from your oppression or whatever hardship you're facing. This is literal salvation into a different dimension of mindset, where you are above all of those principalities and powers and literally just living from that space in third heaven, because that's what we have the potential to tap into. He goes on to say, Yahweh Elohim is my strength, and he will make my feet like hinds' feet, or like the feet of a deer, and he will make me to walk upon my high places. And like I said, those high places, that third heaven authority, that's where we sit in. No matter what's going on in the physical, circumstances don't matter. It's that state of being that matters. And if you maintain that state of being, even through the hardships, you will see it all unfold and made manifest in your own life. And because this is a wild rock and roll type song, he closes by saying, Lamnatsecha bin ginotai. And yeah, that just means to the chief singer, to the chief musician, the best of the best maestro on my string instruments. We're talking like electric guitars of the day here, guys. The ancient zither is where we get the guitar. And of course, the word zither becomes guitar, and sitar in India. It's all the same instrument because it's strings stretched over a sound box with a fret to change the notes. This is what's going on in the ancient scriptures, and of course mainstream churchianity, a lot of places ignore it. Okay, some places are a little more wild,
and all I keep hearing is that separate me for the use of God. That's the true meaning of holiness. So begin to separate me, Lord, for your use. Go ahead and call for that. Go ahead and call for that. I'm going to tell you, sin in your lives is not worth being used by God. You need to throw that aside. There's something far greater on this side than on that side. And if you're watching today and you don't know Jesus as your Lord, simply say, Jesus, I believe God raised you from the dead, and I confess with my mouth that you are my Lord, and go ahead and become part of this vast family of God and this army of power that he can raise up in these last days. I'm going to tell you something. It don't make any difference what kind of witch is against you, what kind of witchcraft is against you, what kind of voodoo has been unleashed, what kind of ungodliness that politicians are operating in. It is no power for the power of holiness and the power of God's love. And you can hear it. Can you hear it? Watch it. You can hear it. You can hear it. It's turning up, turning up, turning up, turning up. Come on. It's turning up, turning up, turning up, turning up. Again, say, turning up, turning up, turning up, turning up. Oh, turning up, turning up, turning up, turning up. We got to break out of that mindset and realize that Source has something way better for us than even what we're seeing in the physical present current state of affairs.
When we acknowledge that source literally is divine justice, we can literally step into that justice, manifest it in our own lives, and then in the society and community around us. So no matter what happens, no matter what circumstances look like, even if it looks like things are failing, know that Yahweh is above it all. And that form of justice is sure. So I love you guys. Stay optimistic and do your part and tap in, man. Be on the right side of history. Really manifest that utopia that we've come here to live in. And don't be on the trailing edge saying, hey, wait for me, I want to join too. Be the change you want to see in the world, and we literally will see this world unfold right under our very feet. Our hinds feet set on those high places. So I love you guys. Be well, be blessed, and rise to the occasion. You were born for such a time as this. I'll check you in a future reasoning sesh. Joel signing out once again. Agape, Salaam, Namaste, Shalom.